Hi again, I'm Carson from Guys with Games. Last week we hit 30,000 subscribers, which kind of blows my mind. We never thought it would get this big, but because of that milestone event, I felt like I need to come back and make more videos to say thank you. Getting a lot of views and having many followers is nice, but that was never really our goal with the channel. It was to help teachers, and so to say thank you to so many of you for watching. I'd like to make some more content. Today I'm going to show you a game. It's a spelling game really, or a vocabulary and spelling game, but I call it the R+3 letter game. R is the round. So whatever round we're playing through, it will be that number plus 3. We need to make 4-letter words in the first round, for example. Consequently, in the second round, 2 plus 3, so we need to come up with 5-letter words to advance through the game. And I usually play 4 rounds. The 4th round is kind of a mix, and I'll show you how I do that in a moment. But you're going to need some way of giving students an assignment, so a letter to use. And every student is going to need a piece of scrap paper. They could use a notebook. I have a bunch of this extra origami paper, so I just give each student a piece of that paper, have them take out a pencil, and I'll explain what they're going to do. You're also going to need a timer. I just use my phone and set it to a minute or maybe 2 for each round, depending on the level. 1 minute is usually good enough. Now, I have a lot of these letter cards that I use, and my students are very familiar with them. You could use a set of playing cards, though. Playing cards, if you think about it, each suit has 13 numbers, I guess. And so you could assign a letter value to a red 2, for example, would be A, red 3 would be B. And then all the way through the alphabet, that would be 26. So a red 1 is 1 and a black 1 is something different. I find that my students are confused by this. It takes extra time for them to decipher what letter they need to use. So I just use my letter cards. Anyway, the way that they're going to play is that before I start the timer, I'm going to give each student a letter card. So in this case, E. And in the first round, they'll get a minute. So ready, go. And their job is to write down 2 words which begin with E that have this many letters in it. So maybe something like each and even. When they're okay, they'll raise their hand. I will go and make sure that they've spelled it correctly, and I'll give them another card. Now in this case, it's another E. So I need to make the rule that you can't use the same word 2 times. And so they'll go through, maybe they come up with 2 more, and then they get another one. Uh-oh, Y, yell, Y-E-L-L. And so they're kind of trying to quickly come up with a word that starts with the letter that they've been given and is this many letters in the word, 2 of them for each letter. After a minute, we'll count how many they have. So this is kind of their points. They have 3 points. And maybe I'll have their names written down on the side of the board. I'll give that student 3 points. So I'm doing this for every one of my students. The teacher needs to be really involved here. If you have a large class, I would suggest that you put them into small teams so that you're not running around to 20 different kids. But after the minute, we do the points, and then we move on to round 2. Same thing. I'm going to give each student a new card, so R. This time they're going to come up with 2 R words that are 5 letters long. And when they've done that, they raise their hand and it's spelled correctly, I'll give them another card. If they don't know anything, let's say they get V or something, and it's really difficult for them to come up with anything, at least they get 1 point, because even if you did nothing, you would have 1 card in your hand. So it's not really discouraging for the slower students or the students who get an unlucky letter, but it's just part of the game. Now when we get down to the special round, you could play this however long you have time for, but what I do at the end is I give them a special round. So in this round, forget this whole how many rounds plus 3. This time I'm going to give you a card. And it's your first card in this round, so you need to come up with a word that has the I in the first position. 2 of them. Okay, so ice and igloo. Good. Raise your hand. Your spelling is correct. I give you another card. Now this is your second card. So your second card, you're going to come up with 2 words with R in the second position. Bring and press. Okay? Then a 3rd card, and so on and so forth until the time is up. We count all the points. We find out which one is the winner. This is just really quick reviewing their vocabulary recall, and their ability to spell these words. Thanks again. I hope you enjoy this game, and we'll see you again in the future. Bye-bye.